Hello, welcome to the Heated Debate brought to you by Emirates. The day is finally here for England fans, arguably one of, if not the biggest quarter-final of the lot. England taking on France. It's a huge game. So, of course, guys, Zach, James, we're going to get straight into it and we're going to put together our combined 11. Who are the underdogs? Who's got the better squad? We're going to have that big debate right now. Zach, let's get into it with the goalkeepers. We've got Pickford, we've got Lloris. I'm guessing they're the two choices. I know England have got plenty of talk when it comes to goalkeepers, but hard choice, Zach.
It is. Especially when you look at this World Cup, because both goalkeepers haven't really had to do that much, if we're being totally honest. When France lost, it wasn't actually a recent goal, so I don't think you can really put that mark next to his name. And Pickford, to be fair, hasn't had to deal with too much. I will say, though, against Senegal, he made an unbelievable save. Which really
kept them in the game, really, and the tournament, maybe.
It was 0-0 at the time. And so I can understand arguments on that side of things. I'm probably leaning more towards the right, towards Hugo Lloris, and I think that is just due to legacy due to how long
I get annoyed. So on my channel, I've had a go at Lloris over the years.
Oh, okay. Why?
Because it's more a captaincy thing. I don't think goalkeepers should be captains. But anyway, the thing here is, it's like, do you go down the big club snobbery route of Lloris and Tottenham, and look, he's got a hell of a lot of caps for France. He can't be a bad goalkeeper. Did make a mistake in that final. But anyway, Pickford, I think Pickford has been very, very good for Everton for the last 12 months, let's say at least. Yes. And in this tournament, I think he's made bigger saves. And honestly, I think his kicking is great as well at times. I don't know, maybe it's just something that I often miss. You know, you have players, some people are like, how could you even say that? But for me, I would go with Pickford on this first one.
I'm a huge fan of Pickford. I do want to say that. I think especially for a long time, people were arguing about maybe whether it should be Ramsdale in goal or one of the other, Nick Pope in goal. And I've always thought Pickford for England has been amazing. Since 2018, he's been the guy, and I think he deserves a place. I'm just, slightly towards winning the World Cup previously.
If it's World Cup final, which one would you go for? Okay, I've got to start someone. I would still go with Pickford.
Do you know, I completely agree. When it comes to goalkeepers and everyone puts them head to head, who would you rather have? For me, if Pickford was in net, would I prefer Lloris? If Pickford was my starting goalkeeper and Lloris was coming through, would I swap Pickford for him? No, I'd have Pickford in there. Whereas if it was Lloris and Pickford was playing as well as he is, he's as consistent as he is as well, I'd have Pickford. So that's what I've got to say.
2v1.
That's how I always do it.
That's
Lloris.
The comments, Spurs fans will be getting very, very angry right now, and I understand that, and you've got to back your guy. I get it, but I think also, sometimes just because he's French, he's got a lovely beard and he looks great. Sometimes we can pick our boys.
He's also prone to an error, though that was more for club form. Whereas Pickford, for England's been amazing. I really don't disagree. I can fair enough have that one.
Okay. Right, let's get into the defence then. There's only one place to start. Right back. Plenty of talk. The conversation has been about which right back England will pick to help put up with Mbappe. Kyle Walker, surely out of the two, between France and between England. Walker's the one, right?
I'm in complete agreement. So at the moment, France are playing Jules Koundé at right back, who isn't a right back. He's a centre back that can play there slightly. There's also Pavard, who played at right back in 2018, but all compared to Kyle Walker are nowhere near him. He's a guy that on form, he's one of the best in the world. He's a guy that, if he is on his day, can deal with Kylian Mbappe, has done as well when playing against him in the Champions League. It's going to be a very, very interesting watch. That is the key battle in this game today, is Kyle Walker versus Kylian Mbappe.
He does have some errors in him, though. That is something that everyone talks about. Even against Senegal, he will have some errors. He did in that match. And there's been talk about, should he even be England's starting right back? Kieran Trippier, Trent Alexander-Arnold. Is this the man, James, where you've just got to play Walker because he'd be coming up against Mbappe, but in a combined actual 11, he's the best?
I think you can have your opinion on Trent. Trent is obviously better in an attacking sense. Yeah. Trippier has great vision, is very he's a sensible, solid right back as well, but doesn't have the pace of Walker. I think when it comes to the game, I think there's almost been a little bit too. It makes me slightly concerned. There's been too much conversation over that specific battle, because that's going to work in someone's favour. Yeah. Someone's going to look silly. Someone's going to be all over Twitter tonight, and it's either going to be Mbappe because he's had an off night because he's been in Walker's pocket, or he's going to send him for a hot dog. Yeah. And that would be the concern would be he got really, really tight with Ismaila Sarr in the Senegal game and got rolled once or twice. He will have to do the same thing, but he'll need a bit of help around him as well. But I think in terms of the England players who've played at right back in this tournament, I think Walker's obviously the main man, and Koundé does feel like the possible weakness for a very, very strong French side. Right, well, let's lock it in. Let's get him moved up. We'll move on to centre-backs. 4 very strong centre-backs: Stones, Maguire, Varane and Upamecano. We can only pick 2 of them. We are going 4-3-3 as well, by the way. So let's get these in and let's see. Right, looking at the French ones, I feel like we are heavily swaying towards England right now. I know, yeah. Varane, I've been saying this, there's only probably 3 French players I would personally go, they're better than English players. Varane is one of them for me. Varane is someone who actually, his first season at Manchester United didn't go that well. It could have been a lot better. However, he is turning things around. The one thing I will say is when he gets playing for France, he does look immaculate. He looks fantastic. He's able to deal with situations really, really well. And when you're actually looking at this French team so far in this competition, when it is Varane playing, they look defensively fantastic. I mean, if I was in comparison here, I'd be having one of both. Which one out of England? Which one for England out of Stones and Maguire? I'd be leaning more towards John Stones, because I think he is the guy that's actually been going a bit under the radar. There's been a lot of talk about Harry Maguire, obviously due to not playing and his fitness. The redemption arc,
exactly.
There,
I completely get it. But John Stones has been going through each game and putting out fantastic performances time and time again. And so I'll be looking towards a Stones and Varane partnership. I like Upamecano. I just think when you're comparing these two, Varane comes out on top, and I think Upamecano is still really young. We'll see a huge future for him. Yeah, I struggle to argue with that one, really. I think Maguire, as good as he's been, Stones has actually been better. Stones, the only annoying thing with Stones, I'd love him to get on the end of more set pieces, attacking set pieces. He said that himself as well. Yeah. He said he wants to score more goals, yeah. But I think, you go back to Man United, Maguire can't get in that team, Varane would be a definite starter. And when you're thinking about centre-backs, you're often thinking, kind of Rolls-Royce, Virgil van Dijk style players that are just walking through games. That's what you kind of want. And I agree. I think it's those two who are sort of huge talker as well, Stones. I didn't realise until obviously seeing him in person how much he's ordering people to get in the right positions, and he's fuming half the time if someone doesn't, if someone's not there. Right, yes. Well, I feel like we've locked those in. Let's get rid of Maguire and Upamecano then. Left back, is there even need for debate? Surely, Theo Hernandez. Theo Hernandez is who I've got at the moment. He has an argument to be one of the best left backs in the world, to be quite frank. We've sat here a few times throughout this tournament and said, the weak link at the moment for this England team might be Luke Shaw. He's not performing to the ability that we could possibly do with or know that he does have. And so, when you look at really comparing him versus someone like Theo Hernandez, it's really just no battle. He's continuing to impress. Yeah. I hope Luke Shaw kind of watches these things and sees these combined 11s, and it gives him that jolt again, because there are moments where he can really go up a notch. I think overall he's not really done that, and Hernandez just has a lot of stuff in his armoury in terms of his physicality, dribbling ability, the ability to drive with the ball. He's pretty frightening. That the entire game, I just keep looking to the right-hand side for England, the left-hand side for France, and he's going to have a part to play as well, because if such a focus on Mbappe, you've got to watch out for him as well. But hopefully he leaves some spaces in behind. Plenty of people have chosen him in their team in the tournament so far, including us as well. So that feels like it's just a certain. We've got to get him in at left back. Right, let's try and tackle this midfield then, because four at the back, 3-3. That's what we are going with. I mean, that's probably the best to fit the players that we want in there. Should we stick all the midfielders on? Let's get the midfielders on and start to slowly pick, because this could be a mess. I'm not going to lie. How do we even do this, right? Henderson, Rice, Bellingham. Then we've got Rabiot, Tchouaméni as well. I would just put, in terms of matchups, would you go Rice, Tchouaméni, Rabiot, Henderson, I'd say Griezmann.
Griezmann, Henderson. Yeah, okay.
For Bellingham's
Yeah, a bit
level.
lower than
Oh,
me.
sorry, yeah. My eyesight wasn't the best there.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how.
I think those are the matchups.
That's tough, isn't it? Because both of them very strong. Us versus them in.
And actually, France's best player out of these three is against England's best player, which is nuts to think about. Like Griezmann coming into this tournament, I didn't know what he was going to be like. I think obviously the way his season and really his career the past couple of years has ended up has been a bit of a shame for a guy that looked electric and looked like he could challenge to be one of the best players in the world. But this World Cup, he's been one of the best players in the tournament. There's been so much talk about Kylian Mbappe in this French squad, and of course there will be. Even Dembele's had a lot of plaudits. But Griezmann is playing a role that is so fun to watch when you're watching him live.
So you can't pick Bellingham then? Now you've said all of that, you can't start choosing Bellingham.
Look, I think we find a way to get both of them in the side. These two
hang on.
to start.
Carl, what are the rules? Are we going one from each of these, or
You put them head to head.
Are we doing a mix and match?
We can't not play both of these. There's no world that they are not on this squad.
But then you lose out on Henderson. You could arguably say that Bellingham's played so well because Henderson's been in there, Rice has been at the back, he's been shoring things up right there. I don't think there is a world where we can actually...
If we were doing matchups, right, if we were going, you can only pick one each in these three pairings, I would go...
Make a decision.
My three would be 1, 2...
I just don't think we can leave him out.
If you were making...
But I'd be happy to move him
and
move him back.
How would
you'd
that
say
work?
these three? Oh, and
Yeah.
Henderson sitting?
Yeah, Henderson.
I mean, James, you were praising Griezmann over the last couple of weeks as well, what he's done in the tournament. You wouldn't pick him?
Sorry, who's
Griezmann. You wouldn't pick Griezmann.
Do you know what, if it's down to a matchup, look, if it's all like players are in the air, I would go Tchouaméni, I would go Bellingham and Griezmann.
Yeah.
But
So
you know,
you
it's a
go
heated
one
debate.
for
We're having
one.
a bit of fun.
Yeah.
We're having 1 for 1, and when it comes down to that, France will play a very similar way to England.
Yeah.
So if we're going to kind of stick alongside that,
matchups.
then you have to stick with the matchups, really, and those are the three. in my
Zach, who would
opinion.
your three be if you didn't have to go
If I
head
didn't
to
have
head
to do
out of those
matchups,
6?
yeah, okay, so I'd go, Bellingham and Griezmann, and then it really is a battle between Tchouaméni and Henderson.
Would that
And I
work?
think-
Would it actually work?
You can ask Jordan Henderson to sit deep. You can, and you can ask Bellingham to play an 8 role rather than maybe more the 10
Isn't that
role
losing
he's
what
doing.
we liked about
Not
it?
necessarily, because you are able to go forward, and the way England want to play, they want to dominate the ball. Look, I just think Griezmann has been too good at this World Cup not to play him. Like, he's arguably been one of the best players at the tournament.
Right, well, we're going to stick to one from each side.
Okay, I was going to say, what are the
We're gonna
rules?
stick
What are the
to
rules?
one
Oh,
from each
okay.
side. Rice hasn't been in either of your conversations at all.
I feel a bit sorry for Rice because these two have taken all the plaudits, and deservedly so. And because of that, I think he's had to be a bit more kind of the guy that maybe keeps it ticking and has to sit back
Has
a
he
little
played
bit
well?
more.
I think he's learning a different role there.
Yeah.
People will go, well, hang on a minute, he's playing defensive midfield. He is, but it's very different. He's not able to kind of run forward the way that he normally does, face the goal. He's got his back to goal and he's picking up the ball a hell of a lot. And I think at times he's not been completely confident in that role. And of two teams where they've had a lot of players that have had really good moments, he's lower down there for me because Henderson's come in and has been unbelievable. Bellingham's one of the players of the tournament, so he's in good company, and that's why I struggle. And I think Tchouaméni, when I have seen him play, I think in the same role he looks just that little bit more comfortable.
Let's lock the players in then. Rice versus Tchouaméni. Who are we going for?
Tchouaméni.
Both said
Definitely
Tchouaméni. Let's put that in there, right? So he goes in. Henderson against Rabiot.
Henderson goes in.
Oh wow!
And Rabiot's actually, I will say, Rabiot has
had a good
surprised
tournament,
me.
yeah,
he
yeah.
has surprised me. I think if there's clubs out there looking for a centre midfielder, he might be someone that can get a surprise move.
Don't fall into the trap, the World Cup trap.
I'm staying out of this next one. I'm not choosing. I'm going to let you guys debate this out between you. Bellingham, Griezmann.
We can't.
You can't not have Bellingham. You can't not have Bellingham. I haven't shut up about Griezmann the whole time I've been here, but you can't not have Bellingham. It's like in 20 years' time, we'll be talking about Bellingham at this tournament. We won't be.
He's
talking
going
about
into
Griezmann
our
at this
super
tournament.
sub.
Okay, so he's going to play 30 minutes like he has done for
Exactly.
There we go.
Exactly.
All right, player of the tournament, not even in the combined 11.
This video is going to age so well or so bad tomorrow. Oh.
Okay, all right, we've got
goodness.
that locked in. That was difficult, let's not lie. Let's get into the forward three then. We're going to take Griezmann off the board as well, by the way. Get him off, come on. You didn't choose him. Don't try and win brownie points with him now. Right, okay.
Dembele.
Saka, Dembele, Mbappe, Foden, and then France's all-time leading goal scorer and a man that wants to be for England, Harry Kane.
Again, if you're doing this in battling,
Is this head-to-head again?
If
You've got to, surely.
It's
Yeah, that's right.
nuts. It's actually
No Marcus Rashford.
no
Is that
Marcus
just because
Rashford.
Mbappe's so good on that left side? I mean, there was no point maybe writing Rashford because
He's just not starting.
He's not starting.
True.
So I think Gareth kind of, he made his decision. Saka will start. It'll be so important tonight as well. Again, they'll play a little bit different because France essentially aren't too concerned about the opposition because they've got so much going forward and then great players in the middle to keep a hold of the ball as well. Dembele plays very wide. He will be that out-and-out winger. In all the talk of this France-England battle, Dembele's been slept on a little bit here. I've got to say,
100%.
Luke Shaw defensively actually is better one-on-one. He's better than people give him credit for at times. That said, I am worried about Dembele. He's a frightening.
When
talent.
Dembele is on form, which this season he has been, and the start of this World Cup especially, he was electric. He's maybe the player you least want to, maybe Lionel Messi actually ahead, but after him is the player you don't want to go up against 1v1.
Another player in the tournament that's not going to make it, Zach, in the...
I don't know. I wouldn't say player of the tournament. I wouldn't say player of the tournament. He's a guy who is fantastic on either foot, creatively fantastic, can also finish really well too. But
Saka's got 3 goals. Phil Foden's the star boy that everyone's talking about.
But I do just think about, with Saka, I do just think about maybe the USA game and the Wales game, where obviously he didn't feature in the Wales game or didn't start in the Wales game, and in the USA game was actually quite poor. Whereas Dembele, I think the only one he's not featured in was the game they lost, and eventually had to come on as a substitute to try and help them out. And so, if you're looking at it just on the World Cup, I actually probably do lean towards Dembele. But
It's so hard.
overall, and actually, if I was picking my squad to go play a game, I'd pick Saka.
James, are we inviting Foden to be on that right side as well? Because I don't think there's any conversation where you can put Foden against Mbappe. So
happily.
Foden goes onto that right side. So it's Saka or Foden or Dembele, kind of. Which one would you go for?
So Mbappe's definitely on there, isn't he? Do you know what? I think if I need a goal,
Let's lock Mbappe in. Let's bring Dembele over to this side so we can choose one at the right. So Mbappe locked in, no question, no conversation has to be done about that, right? This is difficult right now because there's a conversation about who even starts for England, Saka or Foden.
I keep going back to Saka.
To start over Foden?
I think
over Dembele?
He scores goals, he works back as well defensively. He can do a hell of a lot.
You can look at this as we're playing France.
Yeah.
This is if we're picking our team to go play a game.
Okay.
I think you pick Foden.
If we're talking about young players who've been incredible, we talked about Bellingham, we've got him in there. Foden is that calibre of player.
I don't think you pick Foden.
I think I stick with Saka. I think if it's
Phil
World Cup
Foden.
final, it's a World Cup final. I think I pick.
He's
especially
a
on the
generational
right.
talent, Foden, though. That's
I
what being said
know,
about
but
him.
maybe Saka's a generational talent. He scored more goals, and he's about the same age, isn't he? We're getting lost in the. That's another debate.
So does that mean Dembele's not in it completely? Do we take him out? It's Foden or Saka?
I can agree to that. Yeah.
I think
for the team that I'm picking,
I'm asking
get rid of Dembele. Get rid of Dembele.
Okay.
I'd say Saka score. You'll get a goal from Saka. You're more likely to get a goal from Saka than you are from Foden.
But you're more likely to get an assist from Foden, and he has scored as well in the tournament. Remember, but are you more likely to get an assist from Foden?
Leave Saka on.
Come on.
Leave Saka on there.
I love Foden. I'm happy for Foden to score the winner tonight. I'm okay with that. Okay, just to say.
Okay, right.
Wow. What a squad that is.
This is incredible. Now we've got to talk about who'll be up top, Giroud or Kane. Kane's sprung into life, finally. Got that goal. Everyone's talking about it, but Giroud, consistent. Surely you've got to talk about that.
If we're boxing it off as this tournament, it's Giroud. If we're boxing off as this tournament, I think.
But then we've not put Griezmann in. Oh, God.
If we're boxing off as that, but literally any other day of the week, you put those two next to each other, there's literally no debate. It's Harry Kane, of course. And actually, Harry Kane's got assists. He's got three assists, I think.
I was going to say one of the things
Goals
that players say that they love about Giroud, like I think even Hazard said it, he's the best striker he's ever played with because he allows him to be better. And I think with Harry Kane, we've seen that actually he has that element too. He's more than happy to drop in and provide the assist or provide the pass to get the team moving forward. So I think realistically, there's not.
If you want one to start for your team though, to score a goal, who's going to be up there? Harry Kane.
Of course. Like there's legit, like out of all of these, I think these two are probably the easiest. Like okay, he might have had a couple of good games, sure. But realistically,
Couple of good games
in this World Cup, and of course, play for France, become a leading goal scorer is crazy to think of. But when you are comparing Harry Kane versus Olivier Giroud, every day of the week it's Harry Kane. Every day of the week.
I mean, I was trying to create an argument for Giroud. I think, look, in terms of facilitating the rest of the team, I think some people said to me that France are a better team with Giroud instead of Benzema.
Yeah.
And I think there's a debate for that because. As simple as it sounds, sometimes just having a good target man who can just stand still and allow Griezmann to be in front and Mbappe to go in behind or in front of him is very, very useful. But Harry Kane, in terms of vision, in terms of assists, in terms of goals, in terms of being clinical, it's him.
Right, let's get him in. Let's lock Harry Kane in there. What a squad that is. Combined 11.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
And that is sweet.
1, 2, 3, 4.
7-4 then. Interesting because we began this talking about, underdogs. England feel like are going into it, everyone's saying, well, England, can they really do it?
I'd love to know.
Man for man, they've got a better squad, we've said. Does that mean that England are winning tonight, Zach?
Yes, flat out, yes. That's I'll put my heart on the line for England to win. Fantastic. I was going to say I'd be very interested to see maybe French fans' version of this and see what they come out with, because that's where I think someone like Dembele versus Saka might go the other way. It might go the other way, and someone like, say, Griezmann for one of these two would come in. Maybe even Rabiot, they'd argue for Henderson.
Yeah. I think there's...
And even maybe John Stones for Upamecano, stuff like that, Hugo Lloris.
I think set in stone, the ones that are definitely up for debate, Pickford, you can toss a coin, I think. Henderson for Griezmann, fair enough if you're doing that, but we had a different format, and I think you're right here as well. But actually, the others, I think it's all pretty... I don't think you can argue with them.
It'd be interesting. French fans, get in the comments, let us know, how would you put together a combined 11? Because... people would say, you all want England to win, so you're going to choose 7 England players. But actually, I'd be quite interested.
I'd say yes, actually. You're spot on.
With Bellingham, when it comes to Kane versus Giroud, when it comes to no Griezmann in the side, or Dembele with Saka, Lloris and Pickford, French fans, who would you go for? James, prediction for tonight? Are you as confident? Come on, score prediction, not just
be on a
heart on the line. What are you going for?
So I will be on a flight home. Hopefully there's Wi-Fi and we get to watch the game. I'm going to go for a horrible to watch, absolutely excruciating 2-1 victory for England.
I think there's no world where France don't score, and it's all about where they score. If they score first and it's 1-0, it's going to be a long night. If England go 2-0 up or 1-1, or sorry, England 1-0 up, it's 1-1. I think we'll be okay.
Yeah.
We just can't concede first.
0-0 at half-time is a cracking result for us, because I think we can run them into the ground. I really do.
It's at Al Bayt, it's 10 p.m. kickoff over here, 7 p.m. in the UK, so obviously it's going to extra time and penalties, as we've seen with a couple of the games already. I mean, if it went to penalties, all right, do England do it? Can England do it? I think it's going to extra time penalties, I really do.
I think back to England versus Colombia. And that going to penalties, and that for me was the real turning point of like, okay, this isn't the thing anymore. Then the Eurofinals happened, and we have that pressure.
The one thing I would say is that please, Gareth, if it gets close to that, don't make 3 changes with players that are going to be sort of cold and just for the reason to take a penalty. Just let the lads that are on the pitch take the penalties, because that kind of pressure just never ever works, and we saw that. That will be so disappointing if that occurs. I hope he learns from that. But do you know what? The mentality of that team, that squad, is really, really strong. I think you've got a lot of players there. When we go all the way back to, say, Euro 96, You look at that lineup, they're all captains. They are all captains. And now we're getting to that point where we've got a lot of players that you go, yeah, they're captains, they're leaders, they're ready to go. And hopefully if it then gets to that situation, then we'll be fine. That said, we lost in Euro 96 on the finish.
Right, well, get in touch in the comments. Let us know. This is our combined 11, England and France. French fans, please let us know, have we got it right, have we got it wrong, and also your score predictions. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and as I said, jump in the comments and let us know your combined 11 as well. Zach, James, thank you so much. James, safe flight home.
Cheers, babe.
Make sure I message you or something to let you know, keep you updated.
Yeah, let me know, guys, let me know.
Score right there. This has been the Heated Debate brought to you by Emirates. We're here every single match day, which means we won't be back tomorrow or the day after, but I'm sure we'll be reacting and reflecting on all of these games back on the next match day. See you then.